All right, East Menlo Park homeowners, are you curious about what's going on in the real estate market? So let's take a look. Let's dive right in. Let's take a look and see what homes are selling for real quick, shall we? So as you can see, looking at this, there's been a little bit of an upswing in pricing, which is actually great news. Although pricing hasn't moved all too much, it's been mostly left to right. And the thing about this particular market is that there's not a lot of inventory, so that's why you see some gaps in the data here, as I mentioned before. Sometimes there just aren't any homes selling, or so few homes that there isn't enough data to gather to really even plot on the graphs. But overall, you can see that pricing really hasn't moved, and it's generally speaking up, although on a little bit of a downswing at the top right there. But my prediction is moving ahead next month, you're probably going to see things even out a little bit more. But what a good indication is that list to sales price ratio. Let's take a look at that. Looking at this list of sales price ratio, it's kind of interesting because there's some data missing, isn't there? But homes in general are selling right around asking price right now, as you can see. There was a big upswing recently, and that's because, as I mentioned, there's so few home sales that even if one home sells drastically over list price, maybe there's only 2 homes on the market. That's 50% of the market right there. That's why sometimes you'll see that big swing in the data. But overall, the thing to note right here is homes are selling, generally speaking, right around asking price. But my personal opinion is if you have a home that's priced well, it's a nice property, it'll sell pretty quick and, generally speaking, over asking price based on the data from the other markets in the surrounding areas. And you want to know probably how long it's taken to get that done. Let's take a look at the days on market, shall we? The days on market here, you can see their homes are selling in roughly about 25 days or so, or less, which based on the chart isn't too bad. Overall, right now you're seeing things pretty stable, depending on the little micro market that you're looking in. Homes on a general basis in the Bay Area are selling, if it's a nice home, over asking price with multiple offers, although not as many offers as there were several years ago, but still generally speaking with multiple offers. But you are seeing some slowdowns in micro markets, where those markets are shifting from hot seller's market to kind of a more neutral market, and some even inching into that buyer's market a little bit, especially the condos. But you don't really have to worry about that here. So if you're making plans, you probably want to know what's going on. Feel free to give me a call. I can help you strategize right here. Here's my number. I look forward to hearing from you.